This is Getting Your Sheets Together. My name is Bryce, and I want to help you take control of your money one sheet at a time. If you're a business owner, a freelancer, or self-employed, you are in the right place. You've likely opened up the instructions tab of the 1099 Hustler and decided that you are not reading that essay. And I understand. It's why I made this video. You'll learn and understand a lot more with visuals and examples. Quick disclaimer, I am not a CPA, I am not a financial advisor, and I'm definitely not here to do your taxes. Everything you see in these sheets are estimates. It's all educational and not advice. So please, before you make those big decisions, definitely consult the professionals. Okay, let's dive in. Feel free to follow along in your sheet as I go through this and pause the video as you need. We'll start on the personal budget setup tab. Yes, this is gonna look like a lot at first, but here's the trick to keeping this super simple. If the text is in blue or red, you can edit it. If not, don't worry about it. There's formulas working behind the scenes doing all of the work for you. We've also locked most of the cells so you cannot break anything in this sheet. Also, if you're overstimulated, you can go ahead and click this plus button and we'll hide these tax calculations that you might not need, but we'll talk about that later. This first page is gonna set the framework for the entire workbook. You're gonna name your budget, select your state, your filing status, and your deduction method. I'm gonna go ahead and pick a single filer in Hawaii taking the standard deduction. Then add in your projected 2026 income. See what it's like to make $100,000 or $200,000. Maybe play around with $2 million. For now, we'll stick with $200,000, and already you can see your projected taxes below start to calculate based on your income. If it applies to you, add any health insurance premiums that you make, any HSA payments that you make, any pre-tax retirement contributions like a SEP, Simple, or Solo IRA, and even you can add non-taxable gifts like birthday money if you have parents that love you and send you cash. In seconds, you'll see your projected net income, the real number you can use to run your business or spend in your personal life. Notice how the sheet is entirely dynamic. Changing your state is going to change your state tax brackets. Some states don't even have state tax. Changing your pre-tax retirement contributions will change your taxable income, and ultimately it'll affect your net income. Again, this sheet is doing all of the work for you. Next is customizing the structure of your budget. Columns K through O will give you the ability to create your own expense categories, and you can go ahead and set how much you think you're gonna spend in that category on a monthly, quarterly, or yearly basis. If you wanna create a category header, select Yes in column L. Then all expense items underneath that category header that have a no in column L will get summed up into the next yes. So for example, I'm gonna go ahead and switch food to yes, so it's gonna become its own category header. Then everything below food, which is my budget of $500 a month each for groceries and restaurants, is gonna be summed up into food for an annual budget of $12,000. Please make sure that you have no gaps between expenses or your roll-up won't work. If you need a reminder that you're done, select End instead of yes or no to indicate you're done building your budget. If you want inspiration for your budget, navigate to the Template Example tab, and you can copy and paste both your personal and business expenses right into the Budget Setup tabs. Mess around with different income and expense scenarios until you find something that's gonna work for you in 2026. Remember that this net line at the bottom of the budget is how much additional money should be left in your bank account if you follow your yearly plan. It's money left over that didn't go to taxes, money you didn't invest or save, or it's money you didn't spend on both your personal or business expenses. All right, that's about 90% of creating your dream budget. This last 10% are for those with special cases only, and it's a part of this tax calculation off to the side. Note that not all of you will need to use this. This is special cases only. This is going to take place in columns V through X. This section breaks down how you will arrive at your federal and state taxable income. I explain this following chart in more detail in the instructions tab, but for those who have any short-term capital gains, student loan interest payments, or income through tips and overtime, you're going to want to use this section. Short-term capital gains are taxed like ordinary income, so enter your 2026 amount here. And student loan interest and tips and overtime are actually deductible, so if that applies to you and you qualify, enter those deductions here and here at the federal level. This base model assumes that you will not get any of these deductions at the state level, so make sure you qualify and your state qualifies. Then you can zero these out to take the deduction at the state level. For those who itemize instead of taking the standard deduction, indicate that amount here and here at the state and federal level. Most of you will take the standard deduction, and this is just an extra option for those of you who don't. Note that this tax calculator actually applies to everybody, but you don't have to understand what's going on here if that last section did not apply to you. You can just hide the section and move on building your budget. Lastly, columns Q through T will show you how your federal and state income are being taxed at each bracket, and that breakdown is shown here and here, and flows through your budget here at the federal level and here at the state level. Okay, that's it for this page. Make sure to play around with different income and expense scenarios until you find something that works for you. Next is the business budget setup tab. This is gonna work exactly like your personal budget setup, but now you input your business expenses. Enter the expense or header, indicate if it's a header or not, if it's yearly, quarterly, or monthly, and then the value associated. Lastly, and different than your personal budget setup, you'll need to select yes or no if you plan to take the expense as a deduction against your business income. Not all expenses can be written off. Sometimes you can only take a percentage, but maybe you want to still consider them as a business expense to see the full picture of your business roll-up. So once you've entered all your business expenses and you're trying to understand how this page reads, here's how it goes. Income and tax details from your personal budget setup tab will appear exactly the same on this tab. This net income line is to show you how much money you have to operate your business after taxes and business-related contributions. Again, this is just a projection, but it'll be very close. Now, the net line on this page is going to show you your net business income after taxes, contributions, and expenses. This is to show the health of your business. Now, these business expenses flow back to your personal budget setup tab. It's right here on row 21. Then the budget flows through your personal expenses. So let's take a step back and give you the whole picture here. This personal budget tab is your main tab. It's going to start with your income, then it's going to subtract out your taxes and your pre-tax retirement contributions. Then it's going to subtract out your business expenses and then your personal expenses. That's going to leave you with the net income back into your bank account. This is your whole picture right here. One caveat is that your business budget setup tab is just a deeper dive into your business, and the expenses come through back onto this main page. Okay, now that we're through all that, the easy stuff, tracking your income and expenses. We'll start first by tracking your income. Navigate to the income tab and choose the month in which you made your income, make a description for your own records, and select a state for your own records. Now input how much you actually made. Say I did a photo shoot in January for $2,500. To see how this flows through, you can check your personal monthly tab. The $2,500 will show for that month, and taxes will be projected based on the percentages calculated for you on your personal budget setup tab. So if you're partway through the year and you're making more than you budgeted, you're gonna need to go back and revise that budget so that your monthly percentages can calculate correctly on how much you need to be setting aside for your taxes. Next are your personal expenses. Go to the expense tab, create the name of the expense for your records, then select the dropdown, and you'll have the list of subcategories that you made to choose from. Here I'll choose rent for $1,800, and you'll see it appear in my monthly personal expenses. Now, a little hack here is that you can download your credit card statement into Excel and paste all of your values and descriptions right into the sheet. Then all you have to do is select the corresponding bucket that you made. Next are your business expenses. It works the same as your personal expenses, but again, you'll have the option to indicate whether it's a write-off or not. You'll also have the option to use the credit card statement download here as well, but for now, I'll add a $50 Shopify expense. So if I go to the business monthly tab, I can see the $2,500 in income from the photo shoot, the projected taxes associated with the percentages from the personal budget setup tab in the beginning, and then the Shopify expense. So if I flip to my personal monthly tab, I can see all of my income, all of my taxes, my contributions, my business expense, and my personal expenses. And then ultimately I can see the net income on the month and how much I get to pocket back into my bank account. The only bit of work that you need to do on this page is add your pre-tax contributions for each month if it applies. Also note that if you see these red boxes, that means you're not capturing your expenses correctly. Typically it's because you haven't labeled something or the category that you created no longer exists because you deleted it from your budget setup tab. A red bar next to your personal expense means there's an issue on your personal expense tab, and a red bar next to your business expenses means an issue on your business expense tab. Okay, now you're completely done and you get to marvel at your masterpiece. You can take a look at your monthly income and expenses. If you want to compare months not directly next to each other, you can hide months with these buttons on the top banner. You can now also go to your annual roll-up tabs in black. These tabs will sum up all of your months and show you the larger picture of the year. Note that these projected taxes are now based on your actual income for the year. So with only 10K in income, I essentially have no tax yet. This is different because on monthly, your monthly is based on your budget, which will help you set aside money as you go throughout the year. It's going to show you the money you need to save on a monthly basis to make sure you have enough if you pay quarterly or annual taxes. Super important. This variance to budget part will show you the remaining dollars you need to either make or that you have left to spend on the year. So I budgeted to make $100,000 this year, and since I've only made $20,000, I still need to make another $80,000. And on the expense side, I budgeted to spend $19,800 on rent, and since I've already spent $1,800, I only get 18K left to spend. For even further forensics, this goal tab will allow you to compare quarters to see your progress and trends. As you go throughout the year, continue to revise your plan as you get real-time feedback on your spending habits and savings goals. Okay, that's it. Those are the highlights for the 1099 Hustler. If you have any other questions, please refer to that instructions tab. It has all the detail you'll need to know. I recommend getting in there, trying it yourself, and coming back to this video, watching it again in case you missed anything. But once you get the hang of this, you're gonna be a master at getting your sheets together, and you'll feel completely on top of your life. Best of luck in taking control of your finances.